You have to understand something deeply human about how people work. Especially in relationships, attention is validation. It tells someone, you matter, you affect me, you have space in my mind and heart. So when you take that attention away, when you stop calling, texting, replying, reacting, what you're really doing is removing their emotional fuel. And for someone who's grown used to receiving that from you, the absence becomes deafening. In the beginning, he might not even notice. He might tell himself he's fine. He might even pretend to enjoy the space, to lean into the freedom of not being tied to constant messages or check-ins. But here's what's happening beneath the surface. The system he got comfortable in, where your attention was predictable, consistent, maybe even overflowing, that system is shutting down. The ego that got a little boost every time your name popped up on his screen, it's now left waiting. And even if he doesn't admit it right away, he feels it. That feeling builds, slowly at first, but steadily. See, people confuse attention with love all the time, but for many men, attention is what confirms their worth in your eyes. It's what reassures them they still have a place in your world. So when that disappears, they don't just miss you. They start to question themselves. Did I mess up? Is she moving on? Did someone else replace me? That internal dialogue starts not because you screamed at him or gave him some long emotional message, but because you chose not to engage. Your silence, your absence, your refusal to play into the dynamic you used to feed, that's what triggers it. And this doesn't come from a place of manipulation. You're not doing it to punish him. You're doing it because it's the only way to reclaim your space. You're no longer investing in a situation where your effort is taken for granted. That shift, when done genuinely, not performatively, holds a kind of power that words simply can't match. He may act unaffected. He may post pictures pretending he's thriving or laugh a little louder when he knows you're watching. But deep down, the lack of your attention unsettles him, because what used to be familiar has now become uncertain. And uncertainty, especially after certainty, is what makes someone feel the most. When someone who used to chase validation suddenly stops giving it, the one who received it is left in an emotional vacuum. It forces him to feel what he was trying to avoid all along. The more you pull back, the more he feels it, not because he suddenly realized how amazing you are, he should have known that already, but because the silence reminds him of everything he overlooked when you were present. It reminds him of the messages he left unread, the calls he ignored, the moments he dismissed. Now that you're no longer offering those things freely, they take on value. Suddenly, the things he once felt entitled to now feel rare. And that change in perceived value, that's what stings the most. He feels the loss not through grand gestures or confrontations, but in the small, quiet ways. When he picks up his phone and doesn't see your name. When something funny happens and he instinctively thinks to send it to you, but stops. When he has a bad day and you're not there to soften it, that's when it hits, not all at once, but over time in waves. And each wave reminds him of the presence he once had, and no longer does. This is why ignoring has such a powerful emotional impact, not because it's cold or cruel, but because it disrupts a pattern he took for granted. And when someone has to sit in the discomfort of that disruption, they either evolve or they spiral. But one thing's for sure, he feels it, more than he'll ever admit, more than you'll probably ever hear from him. But it's there, in the silence, in the spaces you used to fill, in the mirror he now has to face alone. And that's the part he never expected. There's a moment in every dynamic where one person starts to pull more than the other, giving more, chasing more, investing more. And when that imbalance goes unchecked, it creates a quiet power structure. The person doing less starts to feel safe in their position. Safe enough to take you for granted, safe enough to assume you'll always be there when it suits them. But what happens the second you stop showing up like you used to? What happens when you no longer offer the access you once gave freely? The dynamic flips instantly. Ignoring someone isn't just about silence. It's about what that silence symbolizes. It says, I'm no longer prioritizing you in my energy. It says, I don't owe you my availability anymore. That sends a message far louder than any confrontation. When you stop trying, when you stop explaining, defending, proving, what you're doing is removing the ground beneath him. And it forces him to notice that the balance of power has shifted, and it's no longer in his favor. You might think he won't care, that he'll just move on, continue doing whatever he was doing before. And at first, maybe that's what it looks like. But over time, the silence begins to speak. He starts to feel the gap. He starts to realize that you're no longer orbiting around him, that the certainty he relied on, your texts, your effort, your reactions, that's all gone. And now he's the one left wondering, because when you were giving, he didn't have to. When you were always there, he didn't feel the need to reach. But now that you've stopped, he's left with a choice: step up or fall out of relevance in your life. And that's a jarring reality check for someone who thought they could coast. What you've done by pulling back is not about playing games. It's about restoring your self-respect. You're not feeding the dynamic anymore. You're not handing over your peace to keep someone interested. And that shift is powerful because it creates a kind of tension he wasn't prepared for. The kind of tension that forces a man to confront his own feelings, his own intentions, and his own behavior. He'll notice that you're no longer reacting, no longer available on command, and that unavailability, that calm distance, forces him into a position he's not used to being in. For the first time, he feels what it's like to not be chased, and that's when the discomfort starts. Because now he's the one checking his phone. He's the one wondering why the dynamic feels different, colder, unfamiliar. And that unfamiliarity, that's where the regret grows. You see, people don't feel the consequences of their actions until something changes. Until the person they overlooked stops playing along. That's when everything they thought they controlled begins to slip. And when that power dynamic changes, it triggers something in the mind. It triggers reflection. It triggers anxiety. It triggers desire, because the loss of control makes them feel what you've been feeling all along. And you don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to post anything dramatic. You don't have to prove you've moved on. The silence, the lack of effort, the energy shift, it does all the work for you, and it does it in a way that hits much deeper than words ever could. So when he starts reaching out again, when the tone of his messages begins to change, when he tries to act like he suddenly is you, it's not random. It's a reaction to you stepping out of the dynamic he once held power in. And even if he can't articulate it, he feels it. In his pride, in his ego, in the empty space where your attention used to live, because the moment you stop trying is the moment he has to start. When you stop reaching out, when you stop updating him on your life, when you stop reacting to his stories or checking in to see how he's doing, something subtle but powerful starts to happen in his mind. Curiosity, and not just the kind of curiosity where he casually wonders what you're up to. I'm talking about the kind that quietly eats away at him in the moments he least expects. Because the moment you remove certainty, you create mystery, and mystery always draws people in far more than clarity ever could. When someone knows exactly where they stand with you, exactly how you feel, exactly how you'll respond, they get comfortable. And in that comfort, they lose a sense of urgency. They no longer feel the need to wonder or pursue, because the answers are always right there in front of them. But once you go quiet, once you stop giving him emotional clues or updates, he loses that roadmap. Suddenly, he's no longer sure if you still care. He's no longer sure if he still holds space in your heart, and that uncertainty, That's where the chase begins again, not because you asked for it, but because his mind can't sit still in the unknown. You see, when people don't have access to information, they start creating stories. That's how the brain works. It hates open loops. It wants resolution. So if you used to text him good morning and now you don't, his brain will try to figure out why. If you used to react to his posts and now you scroll past without a sound, he'll start asking himself what changed. And the silence becomes a blank canvas that he'll fill in with all kinds of possibilities. Is she talking to someone else? Did she get over me that fast? Did she finally move on? What used to feel like control, being distant, nonchalant, unavailable, is now being reflected back at him. But this time, he's the one on the receiving end, and it drives him to think about you more than he did when you were actually reaching out. That's the irony. The moment you stop giving, you take up more space in his mind, because now you're a question mark. You're no longer predictable, and that unpredictability makes him uneasy and curious. At first, he might test the waters. He'll post something just to see if you react. He might send a low-effort message to gauge your mood. But when you don't respond the way you used to, or when you don't respond at all, it deepens the mystery. Now he's left wondering if he misread things, and that internal wondering plants a seed. The longer you stay silent, the more that seed grows. This isn't about trying to manipulate his emotions. It's about creating the space for him to actually feel the weight of your absence. And curiosity is just the first layer, because once curiosity takes root, it often grows into something stronger: obsession, the kind that keeps him scrolling through your profile at night, rereading old messages, noticing tiny things he never noticed before, the kind that makes him question why he didn't value you more when you were right there. He won't tell anyone this is happening. He might not even fully admit it to himself, but the questions will keep circling. Why did she stop? What changed? Who has her attention now? And every day that goes by without your energy reinforcing his importance, those questions feel heavier. They become emotions. He starts to feel anxious, insecure, even jealous, and all of that stems from the curiosity you created simply by stepping back. People forget that attention is power, and when you redirect that power back to yourself, you become the one who's in control. Not because you're trying to control him, but because you're finally protecting your own energy, and in doing that, you create a version of yourself that's harder to read, harder to reach, harder to forget. He can't stop thinking about you, not because you're present, but because you're suddenly, sharply, not. And the silence he once thought meant indifference, now he knows it means strength. What most people don't realize is that emotional consequences don't always show up in the loud moments. They don't always happen during the fight, or the dramatic goodbye, or the final message that says, "I'm done." Sometimes they creep in through the silence that follows. The silence you choose. Because when you ignore him, not out of spite, but from a place of self-respect, it forces him to sit in something he's not used to, the emotional aftermath of his own behavior. He may have convinced himself that you'd always be around, that no matter how far he pulled back, you'd be right there waiting with understanding, with softness, with love. But then you stopped showing up, you stopped explaining, stopped checking in, stopped asking how his day went. And at first he might feel relief, space, a moment of ease, but what comes after that is far more revealing. Because silence isn't just an absence, it's a mirror. And that mirror shows him something he hasn't had to look at before, the effects of his choices. Without your voice softening the edges, without your reassurance buffering the tension, without your presence making things easier, he's left with only himself. And what he begins to feel in that quiet is something that can't be dodged or deflected. He starts to feel the cost of his indifference. The cost of the mixed signals, the inconsistency, the missed chances, and it hits harder than he expected because for the first time he realizes you're not just waiting in the wings. You're gone, not physically, maybe, but emotionally, you've detached. And that's what stings. When someone gets used to emotional safety from you, they take it for granted. They don't think about how much comfort it brings until it disappears. But when it's no longer there, when they look for you and find nothing but space, that's when the weight of everything they didn't say, didn't fix, didn't appreciate, begins to land. And it doesn't land gently. It lands in the quiet moments, at night, in bed, when the distractions fade, when they scroll through their phone and realize your name hasn't lit up their screen in days, when they go through something and reach for you mentally, only to remember you're no longer emotionally available to them. That's when it really starts to settle in, the regret, the confusion, the loneliness. And not just because you're gone, but because now they're finally feeling what you felt when you were still there, trying, giving, hoping. And this time they have no one to blame but themselves. This is why silence carries such a powerful emotional consequence. It gives him no one to argue with, no noise to distract him, no emotional reaction to comfort him, just stillness. And in that stillness, the truth becomes loud, not the truth you tried to tell him over and over again when he wouldn't listen, but the truth he now has to face on his own. Maybe he thought you were bluffing. Maybe he thought your distance was temporary. But with each passing day, it becomes more obvious that you've chosen yourself, that you've stopped trying to fix what wasn't yours to fix. And that realization doesn't just bruise his ego, it shakes his sense of control. Because you're not punishing him, you're not trying to get him back, you're just gone, calmly, quietly, completely. And that's the part he never thought would happen. Not because you weren't strong enough to leave, but because he didn't believe you'd ever stop caring. But caring doesn't mean clinging. Caring doesn't mean accepting less than you deserve. And when you finally internalize that, when you finally stopped showing up for someone who wasn't showing up for you, you triggered something he never expected. Real, uncomfortable, undeniable, emotional consequences, and the silence you left behind. It says everything he refused to hear.